Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Rewind. That is your girl Miss K. If this is the first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Alright guys, today we are going to be going over Bel Air Season 1 episode number 8, and it's called No One Wins When the Family Feuds. In this episode, Carlton is on punishment for the police showing up at the party, and we find out that Uncle Phil had to cut a deal with the police commissioner to keep the matter quiet. Meanwhile, Will's punishment is on hold because it's his birthday, and Phil and Viv done flew Aunt Vi out in a private plane, guys, okay? And I was like, man, that is living, y'all, all right? But the sisters, they already acting all awkward when they see each other. Now, back at the golf course, Phil talks with Assemblyman Hernandez, who tells Phil that he likes him, but he doesn't appear to have his family in order. He tells Phil that if he wants to win, he has to get his family in line. His daughter is posting thirst trap videos, his wife had an outburst at a charity event, and his son threw a party that got shut down by the police. So it's not looking the best for Uncle Phil right now, okay, guys? Especially since he's already in a tight race. Next, Vi tells Vivian that she thinks it's time to tell Will about his father. Viv was like, tell him what? And Vi said, everything, the whole story. And at this point, guys, I'm like, yes, tell him, honey. Because the way Aunt Viv responded makes me feel like it's a lot of tea to spill. And whatever happened to Lou wasn't all him, okay? Because Aunt Viv was like, Will might hate us if you tell him. Next, Hillary tells her parents that she's not taking the Thirsty Chef video down because she wants to re-examine what it could mean for her. And I just felt bad for Phil at this point, guys, because Hillary just picked the wrong time to make a decision like this. I was like, come on, girl, not right now, right? Not when everybody's watching and judging your family, judging your father and the family because he's in this race. But anyway, she tries to convince her parents that she's making good business decisions, and Phil is just like, yeah, okay, I gotta go and spin a narrative, and he walks away. Then Aunt Viv tells Hillary that she doesn't understand what Hillary is trying to do, and she just looks exhausted and disappointed with her daughter. She then asks Hillary if what she's doing reflects who she really is, and you can tell that this had Hillary thinking, all right? And I was like, thank you, because Hillary is going so hard for something that goes against who she really is in the first place. Next, Vivian tells Uncle Phil that Vi wants to tell Will about his father. And Uncle Phil was not having that, okay? To the point where he goes to Jeffrey and tells him that he needs him to make sure that Lou doesn't come near Will. And Jeffrey is not cool with this, guys, okay? Because he's a father and he wouldn't want someone making that call for him. Jeffrey tells Phil that he's not that type of brother, but Uncle Phil pulls the boss card, right? And he tells Jeffrey that he works for him and he wants it done. So my question is, get what done though? You know what I'm saying? Does he want Jeffrey to kill Lou? Like, what is he going to do to keep Lou away? Next, Hillary decides that her mother is right. Even though her mother posed a question, it obviously got her to thinking, right? And she's decided that this Thirsty Chef situation is not her. So she tells Kylo that she had some other ideas, but he's not on board, all right? He even tells her that he was afraid this would happen because Hillary doesn't know how to stick with anything. He tells her that she has a pattern where she moves on to a new venture when something doesn't go her way. He lets her know that it's an easy habit to form when you never have to pay a bill. And he ain't lying, guys, okay? Because Hillary being carried by her parents all these years hasn't taught her to have any staying power or hasn't taught her to stick things out, okay? But honestly, I'm just glad she came to her senses about this Thirsty Chef thing. But now that she's breached her contract, she has to pay Kylo $50,000, which he calls a kill fee, all right? And it's all because she didn't read her contract, guys. Next, Will, Vi, and Viv go out to eat, and Vi finds out that Viv started painting again. Go ahead and say that 5 times fast, guys. Vi finds out that Viv starts painting again. Vi says, good, because I was disappointed when you stopped painting after all the sacrifice me and Mom made for you to be a painter. So Viv caught offense to this and says, well, it's not like you knew what I was going through because you was busy chasing after Lou. And I was just like, oh gosh. So, knowing the whole situation after watching the full episode, Viv is talking about, you don't know what I was going through. And it's clear that she didn't know what the heck Vi was going through either, or didn't even care to freaking realize that this woman had the world on her shoulders, but we'll talk, we'll get there. All right, so next, Will wants the truth about his dad, and Vi tells him that he was a dreamer and a user who had debts all over the place, like all over the city, and she had to pay them. She tells Will that Lou's spell was broken after he was born, and Will became her world. And that's why Lou left, because he couldn't use her anymore. Which obviously is a lie, guys. Next, Aunt Vi and Aunt Viv argue at Will's birthday gathering, and they make a scene, guys. Aunt Viv screams that she's not Aunt Vi's enemy, and the argument all started because Aunt Vi was upset that Phil and Aunt Viv got Will some autographed Jordans, okay? And she felt like Viv was trying to basically show her up, throw her money around and disrespect her in front of her child. Now, granted, Aunt Vi was doing a little too much, taking things too far, but as the episode concludes, we find out that there's a reason why she takes everything as a slight, because she supported Viv so much and sacrificed so that Viv could win. And she never felt appreciated for it. Instead, she felt neglected, robbed of credit. And what's worse is that Viv made Vi feel like she was disposable, because according to Vi, she supported and believed in Viv's dream as a painter. She bought her first paint set. She bought her supplies and even paid her bills when she moved to LA. All right. Vi says that the second Viv didn't need her anymore, Viv erased her. And when she said that, guys, I was almost in tears myself, okay? It was a pretty touching scene. And it does make Vi come across as a really selfish person, And I want to be fair and say that because Vi seemed like the stronger one, Viv never thought that Vi needed anything. But after last week's episode, guys, I'm starting to think that Viv is a little spoiled and self-centered, and she has a hard time appreciating and remembering everyone who has supported her over the years. You know what I'm saying? Her thing is more like, what have you done for me lately? And that kind of attitude is a slap in the face to people who've sacrificed so much for you. I mean, one of the most interesting things that Aunt Vi said to Viv was that she ain't climbed no mountain. She was carried. And even though that may have been insulting to Aunt Viv, it seems like there's a lot of truth in it. It's weird because you can kind of hear this air about Viv. She's like, the more success I have, the more you hate me or the more you despise me. There's something she said to that effect, right? And it's like Vi had to remind her, like, look, girl, you stop acting like you got successful on your own, like you put in so much freaking work. You know what I'm saying? You had mad people behind you, Phil, me, mama, but it just doesn't seem like Viv knows how to return the favor. Like even in this episode, we see that we hear that she wasn't there, like physically, to take care of the mom in her last days, and she's like, oh, I was there the best way. We sent money, this and that. Sometimes people don't understand that sending money is not enough. This is your mother. You should have been there physically as much as you possibly could, and as far as I'm concerned, when she started having children, she put aside everything, her dreams and all that, and seems like she was a stay-at-home mom and a wife. So what was the excuse that you couldn't be there for your mom, who was sacrificing everything and getting behind your dreams? Like I said, this episode and last week's episode tied together, I come to the conclusion that Aunt Viv has a lot of selfish tendencies, okay? And she's one of those kind of people that she may not even realize that she's being that selfish. So you kind of gotta, show her. Just kind of like what Carlton did. He comes in and he talks to Aunt Viv and he tells her that Aunt Vi is probably just hurting under all that anger, but Viv says, what? No, she's made of steel, she put herself through college, she raised Will on her own, she took care of mama on her own. And as she's saying all this, it hit her. Viv realizes that her sister has been doing everything on her own, and where were you, girl? You know what I'm saying? All in your own feelings, talking about, oh, you don't know what I was going through. Meanwhile, you didn't reach out to your sister to see how she was doing and check on her mental. You know what I mean? But anyway, guys, after Viv realizes this, that her sister's been doing so many things on her own, Carlton says yes, and that's just a heavy expectation to put on someone, And Will was also outside telling his mom that she said some things that she shouldn't have said, And Viv comes out and asks Will to be excused and all that. So the sisters, they talk, and Aunt Viv apologizes to Vi, and Vi tells Viv that she's sorry that she didn't listen to her about Lou. And for a while, she held it against her, for all those years. She tells Viv that she was right about Lou, and Viv says, I wish I wasn't. So then Aunt Vi tells Viv that she has decided that she's going to wait to tell Will the truth about what happened to Lou. And I was like, dang it. Because I want to know, guys, okay? And I'm sure you do too. I mean, it obviously has to be something bad, okay? Because they all have to brace themselves for Will's reaction. Like, they're afraid of his reaction, guys. They feel like it's going to mess him up and screw up all the progress that he done made, all right? Sheesh. I mean, I wonder if they set Lou up somehow. Maybe they set him up to go to prison or sold him out to somebody that he owed money to. I mean, I don't know. What the heck is it? But if they did the last thing, the people probably would have killed him or something. You know what I mean? Or maybe they just beat him up real bad or broke a leg or two, you know what I mean, and told him to stay away from Vi and the boy. Maybe they got a few people from the hood to do it. I don't know, guys, but as we conclude, Will and Carlton decide to squash the beef because, Carlton is just like, listen, I don't want to have no decades long feud after seeing my mom and Aunt Vi today. But Will was like, okay, but how are we going to move past things if you can't accept that me and Lisa are together? And Carlton tells Will that their beef is not just about Lisa. It was just the straw that broke the camel's back. He was already under a lot of pressure with his parents in school, and Will coming to live with them only made things worse because everybody loved him. And this is what I have to say about this. I don't all the way agree with Will being with his cousin's ex. And it's to the point where I really, really wish that they would have just made Lisa be a girl that maybe, hey, look, maybe Carlton could have liked her. You know what I mean? Like, even that might be, borderline pushing it, but it's way better than this guy coming and hooking up with his cousin's ex. Like that, I don't like that. I don't like that storyline. I think they could have did a little better with that one because, I feel like Will is pretty nervy with saying, like, I don't want to be walking around looking over my shoulders, this and that. You shouldn't be with your cousin's ex. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel about it. But anyway, guys, so they squash it. Carlton says it's all good, just don't hurt Lisa because I already did. So now in the last scene, Will goes to Jeffrey and he asks him if he can look into his father. Will is at a point where he just wants closure. So y'all already know that Jeffrey, he was already against this whole keeping Will from his father situation, right? But he tells Will that there might not be any satisfactory answers to why his father left, but he will do what he can to find out where he is now. And that is how the episode ended, guys. So yes, more drama coming. I cannot wait. This is a kind of like a late recap, but it's all good, right? Better late than never. I'm glad I'm finally caught up. Whew, thank you, Lord. Okay, guys, let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Until next time, you guys take care and be blessed. Bye-bye.